Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, as well as Joe Bear in the house. Wait, hold on. Hang on, hold up. Somebody's touched my camera. There we go. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up the football gods. Wake up, guys. Wake up. I'm sorry. I got a scratch right now. Sorry. My nose is itchy this morning. I guess this is like a blooper reel today. Happy Sunday, everybody. I know it's another Sunday without football, but hopefully having this Sunday without football gets us that much closer to the actual NFL season. This week is huge. This week is huge. We have the NFL draft, a virtual draft and everything else. Roger Goodell's going to be in his basement where people can't be booing him. I wonder if they'll pipe in the boos. You know, everybody's got a draft show that's going on, and we're going to have one that won't be like anybody else's. I can guarantee you that ours will stand out from the rest because you will be part of our draft show. So we'll have details coming up this week. But listen, you're going to need multiple devices, okay? Be like Q. Q got his cell phone that's cracked, but it still will play. He's got his regular cell phone, he's got his laptop, he's got his desktop, so that way he can share the love of watching Law Nation, watching Vox Lombardi, being part of the Jobu Sports Report, as well as watching on television. This is going to be the first really technology draft in history. It's going to be something to watch. It's going to be interesting to see who's got good Wi-Fi and who doesn't. Because you know how sometimes stuff can kind of crash. And I wonder if the NFL is going to have into the draft itself. You know, if a team loses the feed, are they still on the clock? Do they get extra time? Or do they get skipped? These are real questions that we are going to have to answer. So, I have been doing, originally, my first channel started in 2012. Nobody watched it till 2016, and really, even in 2016, not very many people watched it. I lost that channel, and now this one is up to about where the other one was. So, shout out to all of you great fans and things out there and stuff. I was actually more popular on Facebook. In Facebook, I had Cowboy Jobu. And the reason I started this was originally it was sharing experiences that I had. I was blessed to be able to meet some great football players and go some places and things. And I wanted to bring everybody else along for the ride. Then, Benet Emery, ended up because a mutual friend that I met him from wanted me to be his sports guy on his show. And I had never had any experience of talking on, online, on a phone or anything like that, or, putting two words together. All I'd ever done was I did blogs. I had one blog that was actually in Yard Barker and things that was carried, which was kind of cool. I've had stuff that's been shared by pictures in the national media and things. I've had stuff in the USA Today and places. I've had actually some NFL teams take credit for some pictures that I've actually taken. But I didn't really get into doing this the way I did until I would constantly see things that I know aren't right by the television writers. And it's gotten to be more and more and more. So I was always doing the counterculture, so to speak, of that shit's not right. And it's actually like an overtime now. It's like even more so now than anything else. I'm not an expert. I didn't, go to the ESPN School of Broadcasting or take journalism in college. Well, I took partying 101. I didn't play in the NFL, so I don't have that. I am a guy that just happens to be Joe the fan that has my opinions and my own thought process. And a lot of people rag on me and say, man, you need to do more mock drafts. And it's just something about mock drafts that bother me. It's just like fantasy football. I don't like fantasy football because there's something wrong with the premise of me rooting for players on other teams. I don't understand how Philly 500 and Philly, I'm coming after your ass, Philly. How you can call yourself an Eagle fan yet have Zeke Elliott and have to root for him on your fantasy team. Maybe I'm old, but it's just something doesn't click about that. But that's just me. And there's so many great YouTubers out there. Because, see, if you want to know something about a player, you go to Vosh. Vosh is, he lives that. This is where his time to shine. And, I can only scratch the surface of what he does on a regular. So I let those guys do that. Here it's something a little bit different. I'm kind of like the Mythbuster or the Ghostbuster or the breaking news guy. I'm not that expert that works for ESPN. And I get told that on a regular basis. See, when you have guys like Ian Rappaport that break news about Kirk Cousins being traded and Tony Romo going to the Redskins. I can't do that kind of stuff. I can't do those kinds of things. And so I can't put together mock drafts the way that the experts do. They have the staffs, they have all the people working for it, they have all the film, and they do this full time. And see, I can't compete with guys like Mel Kiper. Shout out to TPS on this video. Let's just take a look because, see, I inspire to be like these guys.
Coaches are consulted, the NFL draft will never become a perfect science, especially not when Mel Kiper is picking.
When that draft took place, I was 23, with absolutely no experience at all on camera. None.
I don't think he's a talent evaluator. I think he's an information gatherer.
We'll admit, the ESPN NFL draft expert does get some of his predictions right. But we're not interested in the good Mel Kiper here. We want the bad stuff.
Kiper earned the on-air gig after producing his own draft guide since 1981.
A lot of the football people said, who is he? What's he done?
So here it is. Every NFL team's draft pick that Mel Kiper was horribly wrong about. Arizona Cardinals, Andre Wadsworth.
Oh, man.
Andre Wadsworth was a great story. Despite only getting recruited to play at one mid-major college, Stony Brook University in New York, Wadsworth threw caution to the wind and went to Florida State as a walk-on. While there, he turned himself into an All-American performer, and heading into the '98 NFL Draft, he was a surefire top 10 pick. Wadsworth ended up going 3rd overall to the Cardinals.
I think when you look at it, Andre Wadsworth could be the next Bruce Smith. Arizona trades down, still gets the best player on my board.
But Kiper actually had him as the top-ranked player in the draft, ahead of Peyton Manning. It's a good thing the Colts didn't listen to Kiper, as Wadsworth lasted just 3 seasons in the league, while Peyton went on to become one of the most accomplished quarterbacks in league history. Atlanta Falcons, Julio Jones. Julio Jones has been on the short list of best receivers in the NFL ever since the Falcons traded up to take him 6th overall in the 2011 draft. He has led the league in receiving yards twice and was named to an All-Pro team 5 consecutive seasons. Not bad for a guy that Kiper claimed was not sure-handed enough to trade up for. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Okay, while many of Kiper's snafus are understandable, given the unpredictable nature of evaluating college athletes, this one was inexcusable. Kiper took to national television and used Lamar Jackson's accuracy statistics to critique him.
The big issue is going to be precise passing. Can he put the ball in the tight windows? Can he be the type of quarterback in the NFL you need to be? 57% career completion percentage. I would draft him in the 2nd round.
But was quick to turn around and say stats are for losers when analyzing Josh Allen. Does this make any sense to you? Something's got to give here, Mel. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. Obviously, there was just something about Josh Allen that had Mel Kiper hot and bothered. Between the contradictory analysis we just touched on and his willingness to declare Allen the #1 talent in a draft loaded with quarterbacks, it seems odd that Kiper was buying so much stock in the University of Wyoming product.
Showed Matthew Stafford type arm talent, Diana. That's why he was viewed as the potential #1 pick overall, and he still is after a week in Mobile.
While Allen looked decent in
For over 75 years, people have saved money.
Sorry.
Oh,
YouTube got to get
on
paid.
the top. For over 75 years.
YouTube got to get paid.
Keep it together.
What are you doing there? Stop making me
Geico,
laugh.
saving people money for over 75 years.
in his first few seasons, it is already pretty clear he should have never been a number 1 overall pick, like Kiper thought he should be. Carolina Panthers, Jimmy Clausen. All right. This one is a little bit of low-hanging fruit, but it is too good not to use, as it may be the most dramatic, incorrect draft prediction of all time. Ahead of the 2010 NFL Draft, Kiper and Todd McShay were debating the future of former Notre Dame star Jimmy Clausen. Kiper, unprompted, went out on a limb and said, "If Jimmy Clausen is not a successful quarterback in the NFL, I'm done. That's it. I'm out." Well, it's been 10 years, and Clausen hasn't played in the NFL since 2015. Hey, Mel, does 7 career touchdowns and 14 interceptions qualify as success? Maybe you should join Clausen in early retirement. Chicago Bears, Mitch Trubisky. This one I will never really understand. But somehow the hype train went all in on Mitch Trubisky in a draft class that featured the likes of Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. Sure, hindsight is 2020, and those two have had torrid starts to their NFL careers, but Trubisky?
Right now, Mitch Trubisky's number 1 solidly, and then you have Kaiser Notre Dame, Watson Clemson, but right now I have a second-round grade on Deshaun Watson.
Mitch Trubisky.
Second round on Deshaun Watson.
To the bar that Kiper set when he tirelessly compared him to Matt Ryan ahead of the draft. Cincinnati Bengals, Akili Smith. Akili Smith will be a great NFL player and the passer since he lacked since Boomer Esiason. This was Kiper's take on Smith following the QB's phenomenal season at Oregon after an insane junior college career. Not only did Smith go just 3-14 as a starter in the league before flaming out after 4 seasons, he was also taken ahead of NFL greats like Edgerrin James, Torrey Holt, Champ Bailey, and Ricky Williams. And to make matters worse, Kiper would later use Smith as a reference point for why Cam Newton, the former NFL MVP, shouldn't go number 1 overall.
I'm not going to make that same mistake twice. We're going to say that about Cam Newton.
Cleveland Browns, Johnny Manziel. At first, he was destined to be the number 1 overall selection. Then Kiper said he couldn't see his player, and I quote, sliding out of the top 8.
Your number 1. Who does Houston take?
I'm going to go with Johnny Manziel. Manziel at worst going 5. He's going in the top 5 somewhere. To me, he can be a very good to great player in the NFL.
The year was 2014, and the player, none other than the man formerly known as Johnny Football. Although Manziel is still young, he hasn't played in the league since 2016, and
are we
it's
sure that's not
likely
him rolling
we'll
paper?
ever see the troubled quarterback and get another shot.
Dallas Cowboys,
Here we
Dak
go.
Prescott.
Here we go.
Check out this list of names. Number 1, Connor Cook. Number 2, Cody Kessler. Number 3, Carson Wentz. Number 4, Trayvon Boykin. That was the top 4 senior quarterbacks that Kiper had heading into the 2015 season. You know who was number 5? Dak Prescott, the future Rookie of the Year and 2-time Pro Bowler who...
Hi, I'm Rex Moore with the Motley
thought we were
Crue
going to get past this.
front of BMW's self-driving exhibit.
who has saved the Dallas Cowboys from entering quarterback purgatory in the post-Tony Romo era. Denver Broncos, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was one of the most polarizing NFL players in recent memory, so it shouldn't be a surprise that Kiper had a take or two on him. And, well, they both ended up being wrong. For starters, he predicted Tebow would end up playing tight end or halfback in the NFL, both of which he staunchly refused to do. Secondly, he predicted Tebow would get taken in the 2nd or 3rd round, dozens of picks later than the 25th overall slot that he was taken at. As a quarterback,
so we could go on and on and on till the break of dawn with this. But I want to add another one in there for you, too, because going into the draft, Russell Wilson, what they basically said, I'm going to just basically paraphrase, that if you need a backup quarterback, okay, that you don't need to play more than a few games, Russell Wilson might fill the bill. So I bring this stuff up because, you know, like I said, I'm not an ESPN expert, you know, and truth in the matter is when it comes to figuring out who's going to be great is next to impossible. I'm going to go ahead and be devil's advocate and be on their side. And that's one of the reasons why I look at it and say, when it comes to mock drafts, they're really meaningless. There's too many variables to actually try and figure out because you only need one team to do what's not expected. You know, this team is needing a quarterback and they decide, you know what, we're going to go for a kicker. And then everything changes. Then people are moving up because they might have an opportunity to get the guy that they didn't think of and so forth. And somebody's trading out. And it's too difficult. and trying to figure out who is going to be a great player and who's not, you just don't know. Because when Russell Wilson was drafted, nobody out there thought that he would end up going to 2 Super Bowls and winning one. Nobody thought Tom Brady would ever see the football field, yet he's got more Super Bowl wins than anybody else. And Charles Haley, who came from JMU, a team that wasn't far away from being club football, Division I AA, who had not had a winning season with him on the team. Nobody thought that he would end up being the first man with 5 Super Bowl rings. And the reason, we come in full circle, the reason why Charles Haley's profile picture on Facebook is Cowboy Jobu is because basically I wrote an article about that. Because you hear the experts out here tell you this guy is a can't miss guy. He's going to change football in the way they did with Tony Mandrich. Tony Mandrich, this mountain of a man who was working out on Muscle Beach before the draft. He's, 300 plus pounds, full of steel. And they said, this guy is going to revolutionize football. And for the most part, his career was a bust. But yet, Charles Haley, taken in the 4th round, became a terror and was literally the shift in power from San Francisco winning Super Bowls, going to the Dallas Cowboys and enabling them to win 3 more. So, I'm not an ESPN expert. I'll give you that. But it's another day, friends. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to be doing some work in the workshop because I got a bunch of orders for shot glass racks out there for you. And listen to me. I made a mistake. And let me make sure. See, I try to be honest with everything I do. And I make mistakes. And Kevin G, my bad. Kevin G ordered one of the shot glass racks, and I sent him the blueback white laces. Fortunately, I didn't know that he meant that he wanted to have the two-face. Kevin G, I apologize. We'll figure it out. If you want to send that one back, I'll go ahead and get you the two-face one. In fact, I got two-face one right over here. I'll send you one that is actually man cave used because it's been hanging on the wall there for about 2 weeks for you. Or if you want to get another one, I'll make sure you get a deep discount on it. Or maybe we'll pick out something here in the man cave that and give it as a gift to you. But you've got to pay what you owe, and when you mess things up, you need to fix them. I'm Mark Holmes, and I hope you guys have a great day. And listen, man, please, when you go out, please understand you are not just risking you. You are risking others as well. And please, treat everybody you come in contact with like somebody who's got the corona. Because then you will be more caution-driven or cautious. I want to get past this thing and get back to work. But as long as we have one person out there with it and not giving a rat's ass about giving it to somebody else, this thing won't be over. So let's do the right thing, get this stuff done, and get back to work. I'll see you soon.